Hey mates, before we start the show, I just want to quickly let you know that I, Matt Stewart from the show Do Go On, am coming to Sydney and Brisbane to do some stand-up comedy. Sydney on May the 12th and Brisbane on May the 19th. Please come along. It'd be so nice to see you. Use the discount code Do Go On. And yeah, the details will be in the show notes. Anyway, enough of that sweet plugging. I know that's what you came for in a lot of ways, but, you know, we've got a show to do and we better get on with it now. So I'm going to throw to Dave, who is live from the European Beer Cafe.
Hello! Yes, good evening! Hi! How are we feeling? Hey, thank you so much for coming out on your Easter Sunday for a bit of Do Go On. My name is Evan Munro-Smith. Thank you so much for coming out. Matt's just throwing his jacket on the stage there, pretending he never saw that. Hey, are you having a good Sunday? Hey, thank you so much for coming out. My name is Dave Warnicky. As I said, this is Do Go On, but it's not about me. It's about three of us. So could you please put your hands together and welcome to the stage, Jess Perkins and Matt Sans Jacket. Yeah. Oh.
I'm sure no one noticed that, Dave. I don't know why you...
Okay, but I had to point it out because otherwise it looks like I went like this. Oh. Anyway, I had to say something.
You are easily spooked.
I got spooked. There is
like a horse.
Otherwise, everyone would have been like, oh, Dave just moved his head. Why?
No,
We're so confused.
You've probably heard about the European Beer Cafe ghost.
No, very excited to be here. Thank you for coming out again. Who left a family function to come here? Like three of you.
Really?
What the fuck are the rest of you doing?
Who has a family?
Is that a thing people do, have an Easter family day?
Yeah, big time. I've dodged it the last 7 years because of Comedy Festival. Even when we've done shows on a Saturday, I'm like, oh, I can't, I got a show. And they go, okay. And I go, you fucking idiots.
Yeah, they could just check the guide.
Nah, they don't, though.
Because their family is stupid.
They're so stupid. And unsupportive.
And they're not supportive, yeah.
Or they know I've got a show on a Saturday and they're like, oh, good, she's not coming anyway.
They
Phew.
are relieved.
Anyway, all right, bunch of heathens in. Good to hear. Explain how the show works.
Well, what we do here is take it in turns to report on a topic, often suggested to us by one of the listeners. We go away, do a little bit of research, bring it back for the group, and it is my return to do a report this week.
You said my return. See, that's the kind of thing you have to point out, not when you turn your head a little bit.
I reckon we could have got away with that one.
You didn't hear the sound? The crowd went...
They saw the fucking ghost! Well, how did I say my return? That makes no sense.
It's Jesus' return.
So I said it is my return. And guess what the topic is? We always go...
Oh. And I'm too far and I can't get out. Fuck. Oh.
Too soon. It's been 2,000 years!
Hey, Dave, you usually ask a question of the audience before you even ask that question.
And our question is, have you heard the good word?
Who here's heard the good book? Do go on. Who's heard the show before? Fantastic.
Wonderful.
Thank you.
Always a relief.
Who hasn't heard?
That's
Do go on
okay.
before?
That's all right. Yeah, good. Yeah.
Hey, welcome in.
Thank
We are
you so
very
much.
welcoming. Yeah. Great. And we will convert you. So. Or like a mega church, we'll usher you into a side room and force you to donate to us. So great to have you in.
Someone read that as like an innuendo. Innuendo.
No, that's one of the few things without
Innuendo.
Donate
Go
to
on.
it. Donate
yeah.
what?
I think come, yeah. There was someone who went, they saw the ghost again, but they were either thinking they meant come or it was the ghost.
Or they were going, oh, I don't have my checkbook.
Yeah.
Because it's not 1994.
We accept American Express. All right. My question, we always start with a question to get us on the topic. And the question for Jess and Matt is, what is the only thing more badass than a World War badass?
Ooh.
Fucking hell. That is a
I can't
vague
read it.
question.
What's more badass than a World War II badass?
Well, just generally a World War I or World War II badass. There's only one thing more badass.
Oh, it's not about Barry Breen, the guy who kicked that wobbly punt to get the Saints' one and only premiership in 1966, is it? Is it about Barry Breen?
It actually is. It is. No, it is not. Sorry, everyone. Sorry to let you know. You're all thinking, please let it be Khan. How about a multi-war badass? A World War I and World War II plus more wars badass.
Boer Wars.
You misspoke.
Including the Boer War.
Holy
Bloody
shit.
hell.
Today's subject is nicknamed the Unkillable Soldier.
Ooh. But he was around in World War I, so I reckon he might be dead.
Jess, he is the Unkillable Soldier.
Okay, we'll find out.
Not the undiable soldier.
Okay, how else do you die?
We went a trip down the stairs or something.
And so
Well-
the stairs killed you.
Honestly, hold that thought for later. I'm serious. We'll talk about that in about 45 minutes. All right. Today's soldier. It's a World War history podcast. It's Adrian Carton Di Wiart is the subject of this report, suggested by multiple people. Thank you to John from Toowoomba, previously from Brisbane. Love how specific that
Okay.
is.
Great. Thank you, John.
Everyone else will just say your name, so thanks to Jack Ingold, Michael, Simon Arintz, Mike Weaver, Shani Lee Fulton, James Neal, Kalina, Kelly Trey, David Kapler, David Glue, and Jack Taylor.
It was one of those David Glue.
Glue.
That's
great.
good. That's so good.
G-L-E-W.
Ah.
He's actually from Endeavour Hills in Victoria. You hear, David?
He wouldn't put his hand up now, would he? Just mocked his name.
So thanks to those people. Here we go. Adrian Carton Di Wiart. Look at that name, Jess. Look at that.
Beautiful.
What a great name. Was born into an aristocratic family in Brussels on the 5th of May, 1880. So born in 1880 in Brussels, his father, Leon Constant Ghislaine Carton Di Wiart.
Has jizz in his name. The crowd loved... They just loved that syllable of his name.
There is some really good names in this story, I swear. He was a lawyer and magistrate, and the young De Wiart's mother, Ernestine Venzig. God, that's great.
That's good.
Sadly, she died when the boy was 6, so probably shouldn't have paused there. The family moved to Cairo in order for his father to become a director of a large property development company. During this time, Adrian learned to speak Arabic. So he's already a man of the world, or a boy of the world, which will continue. His father remarried to an English woman. He was then sent to a boarding school in England at the age of 11. After school...
The other speaker came on.
I thought my ears popped. And
we going up a
I
mountain?
was like, don't address it, Jess. Just be a professional.
I noticed zero difference. Should I get my ears to...
Yes. Yeah.
Did you all notice that? Yes. Man, I sounded great before and I sound great now. That's all.
Could you hear anything before?
Do I have to recap? Could you honestly not hear much? He's from Brussels, 1880.
That's so much better. Okay, great. Wow. Thank God it was early in the show, you know?
He dropped out of Oxford. He went to Oxford, but he dropped out to join the British Army. Remember, he is not British, but he joined the British Army. The Second Boer War broke out, as you were saying, Matt, in South Africa in 1899. With obviously, you know a lot about the Boer War. You know,
Yeah.
the politics of the situation.
Yeah, I do. I don't know if we have time for me to go into
no
it,
time,
but...
Dave. There's simply no time.
There's no time.
The Boers were involved, though. I know that.
Know that for sure.
It was in South Africa, and the Boers were maybe like were they like the white Dutch South Africans or something? No, whatever. I was on I reckon I had 2 out of 3 there, but you'll edit most of that out. Let's start again. Yeah. The speaker wasn't working.
Don't worry, no one heard any of that. With Great Britain fighting against the 2 local Boer republics, De Wiart recalled in his book later on, he recalled, "At that moment, I knew once and for all that war was in my blood. If the British didn't fancy me, I would offer myself to the Boers." He just wanted to shoot someone. He didn't care who it was for.
War was in my blood.
Yeah.
Okay.
Okay, your dad's like a real estate mogul.
Yeah. And Dad's into houses, I'm into killing.
Yeah. That makes sense. At the time, he was under military age, wasn't a British subject, and didn't have his father's consent to join the military. 3 strikes that would stop most people, but not our man who pretended to be 25 and signed up under a pseudonym and called himself Trooper Carton. Which, if you're going to fake a name, keep it simple.
They must have been going like, that is nominative determinism off the charts.
Yeah, Trooper Carton.
Or whatever that word is.
Trooper Carton. That sucks.
You never know which way you're
I
going.
know.
eh?
I'm exciting.
But if a fight is what he wanted, a fight he got. Carton Di Wiart got shot in both the stomach and the groin. Oh. And was sent back to England to recover.
Which would you prefer?
Gut or groin?
Yeah.
Oh. Come on. I mean, I do have abs of steel, so probably I could take it.
He doesn't have a dick of steel, I guess.
Absolutely not.
Never been tested, anyway. No one knows.
I know, and it's not steel. Your answer, Jess?
Groin.
Who's the serial groaner? I love it.
I think it was an agreement. It was, yeah. It was.
Oh,
You said he
Now,
wanted...
why now? Why would you take a sip now?
you were on a roll. For the people at home, I was drinking my drink at a bad time.
But he said if he wanted a fight, he got one. He was shot twice. Is that what you think of as
yeah.
a fight?
Yeah. Well, I didn't tell you the people that he shot,
Oh.
which is probably a lot. So he was sent back to England quite injured. It was only then that his father discovered that his son had abandoned his studies, and his dad was furious. But his son was keen to get back out and fight. So he was back at Oxford for a time to satisfy Daddy, and...
That was the worst thing I've ever heard in my life. Dave saying daddy.
If I showed you a picture of this guy, if he heard me say that he said Daddy, he would destroy me. But he went back to Oxford for a bit, waited a couple of years before he saw military action again. This time he was given a commission in the 2nd Imperial Light Horse and was back fighting in South Africa in 1901. This time he was old enough to fight under his real identity and served as a commissioned officer until the war ended the following year. He stayed in the military and kept fit between wars by running and playing sports, most notably polo, which he loved.
It's so weird, like, in the off season.
Yeah,
He's fit.
training.
Whoa.
Just shooting horses.
Yeah.
He loved polo.
That's not how polo's played.
He did not love playing by the rules. Unsurprisingly, he also loves shooting and was invited to shoot in country estates across Europe. His other hobby was swearing. One of his friends remarked that, quote, he must hold the world record for bad language. Love this guy.
His friend sounds like a nerd. I say, fuck off.
Tone it down. In 1908, he married a countess with one of what is the longest names I've ever seen.
Yes, lay it on us.
Countess.
Oh my God, it goes for like 2 full sentences.
Frederica, Maria, Caroline, Henrietta, Rosa, Sabina, Franziska, Fugger von Babenhausen.
Brought it home strong.
Really brought a Babenhausen.
Incredible.
Holy shit.
Incredible stuff. She was the daughter...
Can I take your name? I bet he said. Fucking hell.
Yeah.
I want to take her name. I want to get rid of Bob. Just be
You're
Babenhausen.
Babenhausen. She was the daughter of an Austrian prince and princess, so pretty cool stuff.
Babe, I've forgotten every other name in there. Babenhausen.
Because one of them was Fuggo.
Yeah. It's Fugger von Babenhausen. Incredible.
That's so good.
Together they had 2 daughters. Because he was well connected through his family, his cousin Henry which probably would be Carton Di Wiart, was Prime Minister of Belgium from 1920 to 21.
Wow.
And Adrian remained a Belgian citizen serving in the British Army until 1907 when he became a naturalised citizen. And when the First World War broke out in 1914, he was already serving with the Somaliland Camel Corps.
I listen to a few Camel Corps bands. They're great.
I love it when you hate yourself. It's my favourite. Look at him. Thinking about all his life choices.
So,
Remember Babenhausen? God, that was good.
So he was fighting the forces of the Dervish state in the Horn of Africa. But being in the Camel Corps, that means he's riding into battle on a freaking camel. God, that's badass. He was there to quell a rebellion of the Dervish state who were fighting for independence from the British and Italian colonies. So not as badass, that bit. But during an attack on an enemy stronghold, he was shot in the arm and then in the face.
Which would you prefer, Dave?
I've got a face of steel.
If I had
take
the
it.
choice, I'd shoot you in the face. Easy, no question.
Honestly, I would pick arm just because they're small enough they'd probably miss.
Bullet would just go doink.
Yeah. And I'd say, well, you know the rules, you missed, I can go now. And they go, fuck.
Oh, we got to change that rule. Where would you shoot, Dave?
Let's go around the room.
If I mean, just to help you out, I'd try and get you right in the gullet or whatever that thing is.
Oh, yeah.
Open up that throat.
Sorry, for people who don't know, I have a very small esophagus.
Yeah, it's not a gullet, is it? I don't know what a gullet is. Esophagus.
Thank you.
What's it? Do you know what a gullet is?
Isn't
Same?
that like birds have a gullet?
Oh.
Some people are nodding.
Are they birds? Okay, so it's just up to the bit where he got shot in the arm and then in the face. And because of the shot to the face, he lost his left eye and part of his ear.
Which ear?
I think it's his left ear. Imagining photos of this guy. Speaking in 1964, Lord Ismay, who served alongside Carton in Somaliland, described the incident. He said, quote, "He didn't check his stride, but I think the bullet stung him up as his language was awful." He's lost an eye. He's stung up.
Yeah.
So unbecoming of a gentleman, isn't it? He's been shot in the eye.
goodness.
He's cursing.
The doctor could do nothing for his eye, but we had to keep him with us. He must have been in agony. Oh my God. While recuperating from these injuries, Carton Di Wiart received a glass eye. It caused him such discomfort that he allegedly threw it from a taxi. Just threw it out the window, and instead acquired a black eye patch which he would wear for the rest of his life. Hell yeah, badass. And it sort of becomes his trademark. Everyone knows him from the eye patch. And a few other things that I'll mention. He received the Distinguished Services Order, the DSO, for these exploits. But did the injuries slow him down? No fucking way.
Language, Dave.
Sorry. I've been stung up for beauty. According to the BBC, fellow soldier Lord Ismay that I talked about also gave an insight into Carton Di Wiart's innate love of fighting. He said, quote, "I honestly believe that he regarded the loss of an eye as a blessing, as it allowed him to get out of Somaliland to Europe where he thought the real action was."
He's a psycho.
It's well worth losing an eye if you get to go fight the proper
Yeah.
fight.
Oh, good.
And he saw a lot more action during World War I, shipping out to the trenches of the notoriously awful conditions of the Western Front, serving in the notoriously bloody Ypres in 1915. During the Second Battle of Ypres, the Germans launched an artillery barrage in which Carton Di Wiart's left hand was shattered. According to his autobiography, which he titled Happy Odyssey, he tore off 2 of his own fingers when the doctor refused to amputate them.
Could have done with a little bit of a warning on that one, I reckon. That might have been worse than when you said daddy.
Nah. His whole hand was removed by a surgeon later that year. So now... Were you into that?
He's losing everything on his left.
Yeah.
What's that?
Bit of his ear. Eye.
Get out. Nah, it's very good.
He returned to England to recover in a nursing home in Park Lane, the same place he went every time he got injured.
And they're like, oh, you're back. The usual room.
This became such a regular occurrence that they kept his own pyjamas ready for his next visit. He literally said, the usual.
Oh, my God.
Before the end of the First World War, he was also shot through the ankle.
Which one?
Yeah.
Wish I could tell you.
Let's say left.
Let's say left. It's becoming a bit lopsided.
This is my nightmare at this point. No left hand.
So that's shot through the left ankle. Also, the back of the skull.
That feels important, that one.
That's during the Battle of the Somme, also very notorious.
Matt, ankle or back of the head?
Really, the back of the head one, it matters if where's the bullet coming. If it came from the front and got him in the back of the skull, then I'd say that's no good.
Okay.
But if it's just sort of skimming past the back, maybe that's fine.
Yeah, okay. And you can just grow hair over it?
Yeah. I got a big head. I could shave off a little bit of skull, I reckon, and be okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I've got to go with that as well.
I'll be able to fit in a more
I got a
hats. It'll be
huge head.
nice.
Yes! I can't find hats. I got a big old head. Don't laugh at me.
I'm not done with the injury list. So we've got the ankle, the back of the skull,
Yep.
then through the hip.
Yep. Great.
Left hip. If he goes swimming, he will go in circles.
Well, later in this story, he's going swimming. Then he was shot through the leg at Canberra and then through the other ear. Finally. The right-hand side's like, thank God.
The right hand side was getting a bit of FOMO. It's like...
So just to recap, he has already been shot in this story in the groin, the stomach, the arm, the face, the back of the skull, the ankle, the hip, one ear, and then the other ear.
Cool.
That is 8 separate places, and he's lost a hand and an eye.
Perfect. Great.
After a period of recovery, Carton Di Wiart once more managed to convince the medical board he was fit for battle. And then in 1916, so he's like, he doesn't know this, but they're only halfway through the war. He took command of the 8th Battalion, the Gloucestershire Regiment, after 3 unit commanders were all killed. With the commanders all dead, Carton Di Wiart took charge of all 3 units, and together they managed to hold the advancing enemy back. For this unflinching bravery, he was awarded the Victoria Cross, the highest award for gallantry in combat that can be awarded to British Empire forces. And his citation reads, "For most conspicuous bravery, coolness and determination during severe..."
Coolness. That's fun.
Yeah, it's cool, isn't it? Yeah. They pinned it on him and just went, "Fuck yeah, brother."
He's got sunnies on.
Yeah. Sonny's on an eye patch. That's so cool.
That's very cool.
That's so cool. This guy.
Got to look after that other eye.
Yeah. So, coolness and determination during severe operations of a prolonged nature. It was owing in a great measure to his dauntless courage and inspiring example that a serious reverse was averted. He displayed the utmost energy and courage in forcing our attack home. After 3 other battalion commanders had become casualties, he controlled their commands and ensured that the ground won was maintained at all costs. He frequently exposed himself... Come and get it! In the organisation of positions and of supplies, Passing unflinchingly through fire barrage of the most intense nature, his gallantry was inspiring to all.
I mean, it's an amazing story, but I reckon he'd be insufferable. Just a conversation with him, you'd be like, oh, God. You'd scull your drink and be like, oh, sorry, I gotta top up.
I gotta go over here.
I gotta top up. And just go stand in a corner. Too much.
In what way? What kind of things would he be?
Just seems like a little bit of a psycho.
Okay.
Yeah.
And
That's the vibe I'm getting.
Right. I like how the worst thing you think about a psycho is having to have a conversation with him.
True, he is very keen to kill.
My biggest worry about meeting him would be just like, you can't complain about anything. Like, if you've got like a sore throat, he's like, who gives a fuck?
Yeah.
I've been shot in the throat. Yeah. You couldn't complain about anything.
Yeah.
Which you love doing, so...
Yeah, it's true. Honestly, love to complain. Have I told you about my throat? And also my loss of smell and taste. Anyway. So he's won the Victoria Cross. It's the most prestigious award that you can be awarded. Humble about his bravery, he didn't even mention the Victoria Cross in his autobiography. Later telling a friend, it had been won by the 8th Gloucesters, for every man has done as much as I have. So, very, very, quite humble about that. But by this time, the man had become a full-blown legend in the military. To quote from the BBC, he electrified his men. The eye patch... Yeah, he didn't electrocute them. Though he might have. The quote says, the eye patch, empty sleeve, and striking mustache. I forgot to mention he's got a very, very striking mustache.
I love this guy.
Yeah. He's a very distinct-looking man, very tall as well.
Ooh!
Like a twirly mustache or Merv Hughes? What are we talking?
Just quite strong from side to side.
Really painting a picture for the listeners there.
Quite bushy.
Right.
If you were. Just think of a cool mustache. That's it.
So a Hitler mustache.
Hang on.
You said it. I mean, great.
What?
You think the Hitler mustache is cool?
It's bold, isn't it?
Okay.
Certainly.
No one's doing it anymore.
Yeah. Charlie Chaplin really ruined that.
Michael Jordan had it for a little bit.
No.
Which was a strong choice.
Yeah, bold choice there.
All right, from the quote. He electrified his men. The eye patch, empty sleeve, and striking mustache, combined with his bravery, made him famous, with men under his command describing his presence as helping to alleviate their fear before going over the top during the trenches. But he also terrified men, because they knew that he was willing to do fucking anything, and he expected them to do the same. I found this war website, possibly German, I think. It's pronounced Wikipedia.org.
It's a war website.
Yeah, a lot of war on there.
So the W would be for war.
Yeah.
What's the icky?
What's the icky?
I don't know, is that German for war?
Yeah, maybe.
Warwarorg. That makes sense.
Yeah. Okay. So it's got everything you want about war.
Yeah.
On there. That's handy.
Why do they have the English letter W for war and then the German word for war?
I don't know. I guess it's marketing.
That makes sense. That does make sense.
Wikipedia was already taken.
Oh, okay.
And you don't want to go on that website. See some weird shit on there. What's Matt's homepage?
Wikipedia. So I found this website, and it quotes from soldier A.S. Bullock about the first time their new leader, Carton Di Wiart, appeared.
Is it Sandra Bullock?
Yeah. It's A.S. Bullock.
Yeah, A. Sandra Bullock.
Yeah. It is.
But which one?
Sadly, not the Academy Award winning one.
What a crazy coincidence.
Are you Sandra Bullock? I'm A. Sandra Bullock. That's how she gets out of giving signatures.
I'm having a lot of fun.
So this is the quote from A. Sandra Bullock. First time, and their new leader, Carton, has appeared on the scene. Cold shivers Cold shivers.
I'm Sandra Bullock. Okay.
Cold shivers went down the back of everyone in the brigade, for he had an unsurpassed record as a fire eater, missing no chance of throwing the men under his command into whatever fighting happened to be going. Bullock also noted that Carton Di Wiart, quote, despite having only one eye, ordered him to get his bootlace changed. So they're all lined up and he went, you, change the bootlace. And he probably started crying. Somehow he got to the end of World War I.
I don't understand the point of that. No. Even though he only had one eye, he was still able to tell a guy to change
it. From a distance.
Oh, I see.
Right. Well, he must have the one that does depth perception.
Which is classically the right one.
Yeah.
I think you might be right. Somehow he got to the end of World War I, and despite having lost his eye, his hand had been shot 8 times. He said, frankly, I enjoyed the war. After World War I, he was sent to Poland as second in command of the British Poland military mission. The Brits were there to aid Poland, which was fighting against the Soviet Bolsheviks, the Ukrainians, the Lithuanians, and the Czechs all at the same time. He lived a quieter life for a time after this, by which I mean he survived 2 plane crashes in 1 year, one of which resulted in a brief period of Lithuanian captivity.
Are you just skipping over a plane crash?
2.
No, 2.
Okay.
Don't worry, there's another one coming up. I simply didn't have time to go through all his plane crashes. When the Poles won their battle and the mission was over, De Wiart retired with the honorary rank of Major General and stuck around and lived in Poland on the large estate of a friend. He did actually live a comparatively quiet life for a time, later writing, in my 15 years in the marshes, I did not waste one day without hunting. I lived healthy and comfortably, close to nature and away from the troubles plaguing the interwar period. I had no contact with world affairs and, I must admit, had no interest in them. Then World War II broke out. And you better believe De Wiart was lining up to get a piece of that action.
How old was he at this point?
He's nearly 60 years old. And he had to escape Poland. He headed back to England where he re-enlisted in the British Army.
So he's 60.
Despite pushing 60, he was granted the rank of acting Major General. They were stoked to have him back. He's a legend.
Yeah, that's fair.
And Carton Di Wiart was summoned in April 1940 to take charge of a hastily drawn together Anglo-French force to occupy Namsos, a small town in the middle of Norway. Sadly, his men were outgunned and outsupplied by the Germans and had to hold on tight until they could be rescued, and they had to leave. But then in April 1941, De Wiart was appointed by Winston Churchill himself to lead a British mission to help Yugoslavia. Sadly, he never made it there as the plane he was flying on had both engines fail and they crashed into the sea off the Italian-controlled Libya. A third plane crash now. De Wiart was knocked unconscious in the crash but came to in the cold, cold water. Carton Di Wiart and his comrades stayed on the plane's wreck as long as they could, but then it started to sink and they had to swim for it. He had to help one of his crewmates to shore, allegedly slinging him onto his back. Remember, this man has one arm, one hand, and then he swam both him and the guy to shore.
Of course he did.
What a guy.
Fucking hell.
When they made it, they were immediately captured by the Italians, and Carton Di Wiart was sent to a castle called Vincigliata outside of Florence. He was held there as one of 13 of Britain's highest-ranking captives, so he's a bit of a wild card, a draw card for them.
Yeah, okay.
An ace up the sleeve. Also in tow were fellow badasses, double World War veteran General Sir Richard O'Connor and Lieutenant General Sir Philip Neame, who was the only person ever to be awarded a Victoria Cross and win an Olympic gold medal.
Some people are just overachievers.
And what was the medal for? Shooting.
That makes sense.
It makes sense.
Yeah.
Makes sense.
If it was like, I don't know, a decathlon, be a bit disappointing, wouldn't it?
Or like rhythmic gymnastics.
Yeah. That'd actually be more impressive.
That would be really
like the
impressive.
ribbon. Beautiful, beautiful sport.
So De Wiart, with these fellow high-profile badasses, and despite being in his 60s now, he led at least 5 attempts to escape the POW camp.
Fucking hell.
Switzerland was
I can't handle this guy.
He'd be a lot to be married to, wouldn't he?
Oh, yeah.
It'd be a lot. Switzerland was only 200 miles away, and the prisoners all had their eyes well and truly set on the target.
Only 200 miles.
Yep.
Easy.
Easy.
What's that in Ks? 320?
320.
That was very quick, wasn't
That's very good maths. Much better than the man I shared a lift with earlier, who, when I got into the car park...
Was it you?
They were dressed in formal clothes, a couple. Man and woman got in, and he was adjusting his shoes, had a bit of a Cuban heel, and his partner said, "How tall is the heel?" And he said, "About 1 inch." And she said, "Oh, what's that in millimetres?" And he goes, She goes, "Go on, have a go." And he goes, 15.
What vehicle are you in here? What's going on?
An elevator.
Oh, okay. Yeah, that makes...
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, sorry.
Because the whole time I was like, why is he in the car?
Yeah.
He drove here.
They got into my Uber.
Yeah.
I was too polite to tell him it was occupied.
I said, "Where do you want to go?"
What's up? 15 mil.
Yeah,
Okay.
he was very far off.
So Switzerland's only 320
Isn't
k's
it?
away.
What is it? It's 25 mil, right? That's not that... I mean, it's not that far off. I don't think that's a noteworthy story.
It's not like there was context. I didn't bring it up out of fucking nowhere.
It felt like you'd been burning a hole in your pocket. How do I weave this one in? I've got quite the tale to tell.
About an idiot.
So they tried to escape the castle. According to the Irish Times, they employed homemade ropes. They attempted to pierce the Great Walls with carefully concealed holes and even climbed down a medieval well before settling upon the hardest task of all, digging a 60-foot tunnel through solid bedrock. That's about 15 mils. This later attempt took the generals 7 months of excruciatingly back-breaking labour, with De Wiart organising an elaborate system of watches and warnings as the teams burrowed deeper. Simultaneously, the prisoners managed to contact London via secret letters smuggled out for them at enormous personal risk by the Scarlet Pimpinelle of the Vatican.
The amount of legends you're just dropping and skimming over, it's amazing. Well, I didn't know that was a real thing. I thought that was a book or something. Scarlet Pimpinelle.
Well, the Scarlet Pimpinelle of the Vatican is a nickname given to Irish Catholic priest named Hugh O'Flaherty, who, in defiance of the Pope, did everything he could to aid prisoners of war and a lot of Jews under the noses of the enemy. He was a real hero, saved thousands of people.
Cool.
So he smuggled their letters for them. They enlisted Major General Michael Gambier Parry, who was rather artistic and was able to come up with forged documents and escape maps. It took months of secret digging, but the generals completed their massive tunnel excavation in March 1943.
Whoa.
What's going on?
I don't know, just people making a lot of exclamations out there.
Yeah. It's
just
a crazy story.
There's just a few like... They're doing it out loud, so they're loving it, you know? Otherwise you keep that in,
Yeah.
you know?
Whoa.
But on the inside.
Yeah. Never hold enough. Whoa. It's dangerous. They split into 3 teams of 2. 4 risked the Italian railways, while De Wiart and O'Connor, who was one of the other generals, chose to walk.
Why?
Sleeping
So far.
And they're sleeping rough each night and relying on the kindness of strangers in a bid for Switzerland. And you have to imagine these guys are not the most inconspicuous looking dudes. And they do not speak any Italian. O'Connor was a silver fox with a big white mustache.
Hello.
And Carton... Am I speaking your language? And Carton De Wiart was a 6'2" man with an eye patch and only one hand.
Hello.
They stood out.
Makes hitchhiking a lot harder.
That was a good one. It wasn't your worst.
Yet somehow they were able to elude recapture for 8 days before finally being recaptured.
Oh.
So they got them.
And they didn't make it the 320 Ks in 8 days.
No.
Week. Fucking hell, that'd take me a year. Just out of laziness, to be honest. I'm big on rest days.
Yeah. Thankfully, halfway through the war, the Italians decided to switch sides, and Carton Di Wiart was taken to Rome to help negotiate with the Allies, so let him go. And he finally made it back to England in 1943. Upon his return to England, Prime Minister Winston Churchill, who was a big fan of his, summoned him where he informed Di Wiart that he was to be sent to China as his personal representative. The Prime Minister felt a soldier with experience of diplomacy, such as Carton Di Wiart, would be the best man to be his personal representative between he and the leader of the Republic of China, Chiang Kai-shek. Churchill was a firm admirer of Carton Di Wiart, describing him as a model of chivalry and honour, and wrote the foreword to his autobiography.
Oh.
There you go. Oh. For the next 3 years, he was to be involved in a host of reporting, diplomatic and administrative duties in the remote wartime capital, and he was very impressed by the Chinese people. He had a great time over there. He met Mao Zedong at a...
Mousy dong.
Thank you. This is the time before he became chairman of China, but he was clearly on the rise. Di Wiart interrupted his propaganda speech to criticise him for holding back from fighting the Japanese for domestic political reasons. Mao was briefly very stunned, looked up, saw who was heckling him, and then laughed. Right. All right. I'll take it. After the Japanese surrender in August 1945, Carton Di Wiart flew to Singapore to participate in the formal surrender. Our man finally retired in October 1947 with the honorary rank of Lieutenant General. Pretty good.
Is that better than the one he had before? Because it's like Major General or something.
Imagine if he was demoted.
Yeah, Major feels better than Lieutenant, but...
Feels better to say.
Yeah.
It's more fun.
Yeah.
You don't know, do you?
I do not. But I can tell you he'd also been appointed Knight Commander of the Order of the British Empire, meaning he was also Sir Adrian Carton. His list of medals and awards is mind-blowing, and I'll share a photo of them in our social media this week. But honestly, if he wore them all, it would weigh him down.
I don't think it would. Because he swam with a man on his back.
Yeah, that's true.
I think he's a fucking tank.
Yeah.
I think he's the only person who could wear all those medals.
It would take me 5 minutes just to read them all out. But I counted 25 medals.
Oh, okay, no, that's too
That's
many.
a pretty
It's a bit
slow
flashy.
reading. Really?
Yeah.
25 medals.
5 minutes.
Yeah, 5 per minute, 12 seconds a medal. I give each medal the respect it deserves. I give them all a salute. We get the trumpet player involved.
Trumpet by a bit of jazz.
Yeah. I never perform without a soundtrack. Hit it. Imagine. Okay, he suffered another injury even away from the battlefield. En route home via French Indochina, Carton Di Wiart stopped in Rangoon, which is now Yangon, Myanmar, where he, as a guest, was a guest of the army commander. Walking downstairs, he slipped on coconut matting, fell down, broke several vertebrae, and knocked himself unconscious. So he badly broke his back.
Shit, he had a fall.
He had a fall.
He didn't seem like the kind of guy who would have a fall.
But of course, he recovered! What a guy. Southey's wife died in 1949, but he found...
Have you mentioned her yet?
Yeah, she's the one with the incredible name.
Babenhausen.
Oh, okay. Fucking,
Babenhausen.
oh my God. Why didn't you say his wife?
Yeah, that's all she is.
Surely you're giving her the full... Read the full name.
Fucking hell, all right. Let's find this name. My God, this was a while ago, wasn't it?
My favourite bit's Fugger.
Yeah.
Sadly, his wife, Countess Frederica Maria Caroline Henrietta Rosa Sabina Francisca Fugger von Babenhausen. Passed in 1949.
You monsters. Have some
Come on.
respect.
I can't believe you
What is
cheered
wrong
that.
with you? You people are sick.
You can't even say you didn't know that was coming.
We didn't even trick you. You disgust me. Every last one of you.
He did find love again, though. He remarried in 1951.
What?
At the age of 71 to Joan Sutherland, a very boring name. Who was 23 years his junior, and together they retired to Cork in Ireland.
Okay. Well, that's nice.
Some people
I
are
guess.
disappointed by that. But he didn't fully slow down in retirement. He was an avid salmon fisherman where he could be seen by the river sporting a special harness for one-arm fishing. It's quite good. In 1950, he published that memoir, Happy Odyssey. Sir Adrian did not regard his reputation for having had an adventurous life as correct. As he wrote in his memoir, I think it has been made up of misadventures. That I should have survived them is, to me, by far the most interesting thing about it. And I agree. I agree. He once told his friend, journalist Dennis Rolleston Gwynn, great name, that he thought self-pity was the worst of sins, and that he would far sooner forgive a man for burglary than for self-pity.
Yeah, you really couldn't complain about your throat, could you?
No, you couldn't say
Fucking
shit to this
hell.
guy, but you could tell him that you stole his watch.
Yeah. And he'd be like, that's cool.
That's cool.
Whatever, man.
Gwyn, the journalist, also recalled, one of the last times I met him was on the steps of the county club in Cork after he'd been reported to be quite incapacitated.
Oh, and he's meeting him on the steps as well. Playing with trouble. Is that
Yet-
a phrase?
Yeah.
Playing with fire. Whatever.
Who cares?
Who cares?
Like, everybody got it.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Why are they beating me up over it?
These fucking guys.
Yeah.
They are
They
monsters.
hold me to a really high standard.
Yeah.
It's unfair.
So, one of the last times the journalist, he'd heard he'd been quite incapacitated. He says, yet he was walking in from his car without even the aid of a stick. When I expressed surprise, he replied that once a man uses a stick, his confidence goes, and he would never face that. So this guy just soldiers on no matter what. Sadly, all good things must come to an end.
Not so unkillable then.
Adrian Carton Di Wiart died on the 5th of June 1963 at the age of 83.
Wow.
Not
That's
bad.
a good innings.
So Adrian was buried in the grounds of his house in County Cork. His wife joined him there 43 years later when she died in
She
2000.
got there really late for the funeral. Oh my God.
Quite rude.
Yeah. Alarm didn't go off. Oh.
She died in 2006, meaning she was 102.
Whoa.
Yes.
She started as his junior and ended as his senior. That's cool. Does that happen often? Probably does. Probably happens all the time.
Yeah.
Men live a lot harder lives. They die younger.
Yeah.
As
Much
a feminist,
harder,
I
isn't
could
it?
say that. Yeah, as a feminist.
God, your life is hard, isn't it?
It is a lot. It's a lot tougher.
Oh,
all that
poor thing. So hard.
grindstones.
Yeah.
and-
Carrying things.
Yeah. Well, not really, but.
But if, like, you could,
Oh yeah.
you know?
I'm happy to say his legacy lives on. Carton Di Wiart is the subject of the 2022 song The Unkillable Soldier by Swedish power metal band Sabaton from their 10th album, The War to End All Wars. Most of their 10 albums are written about war. My favourite description of him, though, is the Oxford Dictionary of National Biography describes him as, with his black eye patch and empty sleeve, Carton Di Wiart looked like an elegant pirate and became a figure of legend. And that is my report on The Unkillable Soldier.
Done. Give it up for Dave Warnicky, everybody. Great stuff.
What are you going to call this episode? The Elegant Pirate? I like that.
The Elegant
It'll be
Pirate.
confusing right till the end, but
But that keeps them listening.
yeah.
Because they're like, it's got to come in here somewhere.
Yeah, what's
He must be searching for treasure.
Yeah.
And then they just get to the last bit and go, those fuckers. They tricked me.
Yeah, they'll hate it.
Well done, Dave. A great report. Well done.
Thanks, everybody. Thank you so much. Can we have a big round of applause for Duty on Sound? Thank you to the Euro for having us.
Yeah, all the legends behind the bar who've been serving everyone so.
So we have Josh on the door as well. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Josh.
We'll be back next week with the final live episode. But until then, I'll say thank you so much and goodbye.
Later.
Bye.
Wowee.
Woo-hoo-hoo.
That was a lot of fun. Great report, Dave.
Oh, thank you so much.
With a click of our fingers, we are now back in the studio.
And we're back in the room.
You're back in the room. And it's time for everyone's favourite section of the show.
We made it.
Where we thank a bunch of our great supporters who, without them, this show would cease to exist.
That's right.
We'd all crumble into piles of dust.
We'd go into administration. Involuntary administration.
And yeah, the first thing we like to do is the fact, quote, or question section, which has a little jingle. I think it goes something like this.
Fact, quote, or question.
Ding.
He always remembers the ding. Now, at the time of recording, the fact, quote, or question sack is nearly dry. Not dry. I just put the call out, and luckily, a subscriber by the name of Eric E. Morales, has come to our rescue with a question.
What a hero.
Who's the hero we needed?
So this is the only fact, quote, or
And
question.
deserved. Yeah, we just got the one this week.
Ooh.
So if you are on the Sydney Scheinberg level, which is where the fact, quotes, and questions come from, get in there. You should have the link. Message me if you don't have it. And, chuck them in, especially if you haven't had one in for a while.
Get in there.
So in this, you get to give us a fact, quote, or question. Brag or suggestion. It's up to you.
Yep, recipe or compliment. Also, welcome.
Please.
And you
Compliments especially.
also get to give yourself a title. I don't like the compliments. I find them awkward to read. But unless it's to someone else.
I think that's part of the fun.
Oh, okay.
It's watching you cringe your way through it. Oh, I love Matt. He's so good at what he does. Oh,
I'm
I hate
dying.
this.
I'm going to spew up. So Eric has got the title of Junior Vice President of Unproductive Procrastination.
Wow. Merry Christmas.
And Eric is asking a question, writing, "Hi, Do Go On team. I have a question for y'all.
Thanks,
Do y'all have any recurring dreams or nightmares?" And of course, Eric has answered this question.
Oh, love that. I would love to hear Eric's recurring
let's
dream,
go with
actually.
Eric's.
Yeah.
Okay. I've had a few that come up occasionally throughout my life. Since I was little, I've had a recurring dream of a mad scientist trying to fill a large container of liquid up to 100%, but never succeeds. This dream only comes... I didn't take any of that in, and then Dave did a little laugh, and then it all hit me at once.
Just filling it up to 100%. Okay.
The dream only comes when I'm sick and has been happening as long as I can remember. And I've also dreamt of a zombie Abraham Lincoln's face that stays motionless until it abruptly gets close to me.
Oh.
Anyway, cheers and thanks for the continued
Terrifying
laugh.
dream.
Love E. Cheers,
They're
E.
both scary. I have a couple of typical ones. The first one is my teeth are falling out.
Oh, yeah.
it's a typical
Hear a
one,
lot
isn't
about, apparently, like in dream diaries and things like
Ah, what does it mean?
dream. I don't really know.
I think it's
few-
either like good luck or it's money or something.
Wow.
I think teeth falling out in dreams.
I think it's good luck with money.
Wow. Yeah,
That's
Tooth
good.
Fairy's coming.
Yeah, it's horrible. And then I wake up and go, oh, thank goodness it's not there. But when I was younger, I used to have a couple. One was that there was treasure at the end of my bed.
Oh, yeah.
And I'd, like this is when I'm in primary school, and I'd excitedly wake up, check,
Oh.
and then
It
go,
was just a pile
oh,
of teeth
yeah.
that
Oh,
had fallen out.
honey.
But it was like, oh no, that wasn't real. And the other one I had in my early years of uni, after I'd finished year 12, was I'm about to go on for my year 12 play, but I know that months ago we put the set in the skip. I can't remember any of my
Yeah.
lines. We've got no costumes. The audience is waiting. I've got to go out there.
That
Oh,
is a
man.
classic,
Yeah,
isn't it?
it's a good one.
And you're nude.
Yeah, I probably am.
I've Googled
But
it.
that bit I'm fine with.
Teeth falling out are associated with loss and important life changes. This dream could indicate that you're dealing with some kind of loss, like an abrupt end to a relationship or a job change.
Yes, very similar to cash.
Yeah, money.
Yeah, that's right. I feel like I've been suffering loss for years because I've had that dream on and off for forever.
I think my most classic one that I've heard other people having is running, but not being able to run fast.
I hate that.
Just hardly moving, but trying hard to run and finding it really frustrating. And
Trying to scream, but nothing comes out.
Yeah.
That one's really frustrating too.
my longest one that is recurring, I don't remember happening for a little while, but I remember it was an early memory as a kid, was this sort of this sinister man, and I could never quite focus on him. But he was. I remember the shirt he was wearing, sort of like this stripy shirt, sort of grey and blue, and he was. I know he was bad, but he just sort of was haunting my dreams, never really interacting necessarily.
Filling up a bottle to 100%.
Yeah, you just couldn't fill it.
98. Then it would
Come
stop.
on, a few more drop stock.
And then the other one that came to mind was when I used to drink a bit alcohol, I would have dreams where I'm just sculling orange juice, which I think if I checked a dream diary would say I was dehydrated.
Yeah, interesting. But it's funny that you go straight to orange juice.
Yeah. And I just couldn't quench my thirst, just sculling orange juice.
I don't really have any recurring dreams. My boyfriend has an island he visits frequently
sick.
in his dreams.
Oh, that's the best.
And
in a nice way.
Yeah. He's flying there, and the last time he was there, it had changed quite a bit.
Oh wow.
Yeah, sort of new infrastructure and.
That is what a great dream. He's
I
a big gamer though, right? Like
he
plays games. Like last time we were around, he was playing a game that was like on an island.
Yeah, that's
Is
true.
it sort of like that?
Yeah, maybe.
Is he continuing the game in his dream?
Shooting dogs.
Yeah, there's a lot of killing in that game. I think this one's a bit more of a peaceful island.
That's it. That is a great recurring.
Yeah,
I love that.
It's got an island to go to. I can't remember the name of
Looking forward
it.
to going to bed.
It's a good name for an island. It's Peaceful Island.
Peaceful Island.
Popping away for the night. I'll see you. See you later.
Yeah,
So,
and you're looking forward to sleeping.
I'm
in
heading
out.
to the
So
beach
good.
tonight. Yeah, that'd be nice.
That's a good one.
It's a good question, though.
Good
Great
question. Thank you
question.
very much, Eric E. And yeah, like I said, that's the only one that we've got at the moment. I'm sure it'll be back to. I normally stay ahead of schedule, but we've recorded a few episodes back to back, and
We're trying to churn them out.
burnt through them all.
Yeah.
And they've all been fantastic. We appreciate all our Sydney Shine burgers. The other thing we like to do is shout out to a few of our other great supporters on the shout out level or above. This is the Arse Prod or above. And Bob, you normally have some sort of a game to play.
Yeah, where would they like to be shot?
Yeah, so we were talking about taking a bit of the back of our skulls off.
Yeah, we
I
were taking
remember.
that. We don't have to do that as a game. That's a terrible idea, but I thought it was funny.
I like it.
Where they'd
I'd like to be shot in Hawaii.
Yeah, I can't think of anything. This guy was such an interesting character.
His book was called Happy Odyssey.
Oh, yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, we could give a positive spin title for their autobiography.
Yeah, okay. Let's
They-
name their autobiography.
Yeah. Great. Is it... I always call it a game. Is it a game?
It's a bit of a game,
Okay,
I guess.
great.
What else would you call it?
Yeah.
Just a
Years
thing
in, I'm
to
like,
pass the time.
hey, have I been describing this? All right, so if I can kick us off, I'd love to start by thanking from Mongolo in New South Wales, Australia, Owen Petite.
Owen.
Knock, knock, who's there? Owen. Owen who? Owen Petite.
That's the whole name of the book. Knock, knock, who's there? Owen, Owen, who? Owen
That's
Petite.
good. I like it.
I actually do like that. I
I'd
think
pick
that's
that
quite
up.
funny.
I'd pick that up
It's
'cause-
much like one of my favourite comedy show titles, which is Joe Lycett. That's the way, Joe Lycett. That's very funny.
That's good stuff. Dude, what about Nazim Hussein's one this year, which is who's saying that?
Like, who's saying that?
Which isn't really a phrase, but I think it's so funny.
very good.
Who's saying that?
Who's saying that?
Yeah, that's great.
That's so funny. Yeah, those sort of, kind of stretch puns like
Yeah.
that, if that is a pun.
So,
Although I
knock,
think
knock.
my all-time favourite show title was Al Cetron by Birchall's a few years ago. Fuck it up, here we go.
Yeah, that's incredible. So, Owen, knock, knock, who's there? Owen, Owen, who? Owen Petite.
I think that's
Very
fantastic.
good.
Next, I would love to thank from, Undress Unknown.
Undress Unknown.
Oh, Undress Unknown.
Oh no, it's a nightmare again. I'm undressed and I'm unknown. My worst fears are coming real. From Address Unknown, can only assume deep within the fortress of the moles they do reside. It's Kirsten E.
Kirsten E.
I wonder if they're related to Eric E.
Keep on trucking.
Oh, I like
In
that.
brackets, in the free world.
Oh, I like that.
In bracket, did you include my horn
Yeah.
sound?
Keep on trucking.
In the free world. That's good. That's
So
good.
it's sort of like a bit of a word play on the classic Neil Young song.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Love
Keep
that.
on trucking. In the free world.
That's really good. And finally, from our love to thank from Stafford Heights in Queensland, Australia, it's Ashley Becks.
Ashley Becks.
Yeah. Put your Becks into it.
Oh, that's good.
That's good. Put your Becks into it.
It's one of those stretchy ones I was talking about. It's not quite there, but that's part of the fun. I think there's something almost grosser about ones that work well somehow. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
What about have a
Oh.
Becks and lie down? I don't know what that means, but it's a saying that maybe English people say. Is it?
Have a
Have a Becks and lie down? So it's just in the back of my brain.
Me too,
you want-
but I don't know what it means.
Yeah. I'm guessing a Becks is a brand of sedative or
Yeah,
something?
something.
Not the beer.
Yeah.
Have a Becks. and
Or a
lie-
nice cup of tea.
Ah.
Could be anything, really.
Could be.
What about bigger than Bexus?
Oh,
That's so bad.
That's good. That's so bad. It's
Okay.
I love that.
good. Some options there for you, Ashley. Would you like to thank a few bopper?
I'd love to. I would love to thank from Destination Unknown,
Ooh. Where do you reckon they might be from?
Fortress of the Moles.
Wow.
I would love to thank John Wick.
Oh.
Wick. I love this because I imagine that their whole life it was just a normal name, and then
Yeah.
Keanu came along and made 3 movies.
So
that
the name
changed it
of
all.
the book is No, Not That John Wick.
Yeah, that's true.
In brackets, an even better one.
Burning the John Wick at both ends.
Oh, that's pretty good.
No, that's not even the
Yeah.
saying, is it? It's
Yeah.
burning the candle,
Candle at both ends.
Yeah.
But what are you burning if not a wick?
That's true. That's a really good point.
Maybe that's it. What are you burning if not a wick?
What about johnwikipedia.org?
Oh, that's good too.
What about John B. Nimble, John B. Wick?
That's it. That's the one. That's the one. Matt, you cannot deny that's the one.
Yeah. Dave is really John tonight, Wicks.
Shut up.
Oh, we didn't give a pun one to Kirsten E.
Shut up.
Do we need to give a pun
Did we?
one?
They don't have to
I just
be-
said keep on trucking.
They don't have to be puns.
Oh, okay. 'Cause it just feels like we've changed into that. All right, no worries.
For me as well, I would love to
Kirsten
thank.
out of 10. Hey.
There it is.
Burston Wee. That's when you really got to go.
I would love to thank from Port Macquarie in New South Wales, Lord James and Lady Paula Smith.
I do say.
My lords
Oh.
and lady.
Yeah. Common people. Something like that.
Yeah, that's good.
You know, just playing it down.
Yeah.
That's
Hey.
right.
We're just like you,
Yeah.
the common people, except we're a lord and a lady, motherfuckers. Love that.
Yeah.
Trying to be like, like the people.
Yeah. And if books can have a theme song, it's obviously Common People by Pulp.
Yeah.
But I don't have to. In the technology, by the time this book comes out, every books will have.
Every book is an audiobook.
Yeah. They've all got songs on them.
Easily. Thank you, Lord James and Lady Paula. I would love to thank as well from Chicago, Illinois, Spenjamin Montema.
Benjamin Montema. Benjamin.
Amazing.
Feels like we,
Something about like Benjamin's like money.
yeah.
Spenjamin.
There's already too much going on.
What
I don't know
about
what to do with
if
it.
we put a hyphen in, we go Spen Jammin
Yeah.
Montema. Jeremy's
Pause.
Iron.
Yeah, I love that very much.
Jammin
German
Another pause.
Jammin.
Montema.
Montema.
Yeah, it's some good stuff.
It's hard because
That's
when
some
the name
good
is
stuff.
the name is already that amazing. It's
Yeah,
hard
you
to.
can't. What are you supposed to do with that? Do you want to thank some people, Dave?
Yes, please, from Perth, WA. Right in Australia, it is Eliana and Josh.
Eliana and Josh. Milky Mana and Tosh. It'll make sense by the end of the book.
Okay. Yeah.
Okay. I feel like that. Have you given away a plot twist there?
No.
Just
It's the
Josh
name of
and
the-
ya, brackets, with Eliana, close brackets.
Okay, mine's still better.
Okay.
And mine
Just
was
say it.
mostly
bad
nonsense.
No bad answers.
They don't all have to be puns on their names, you know. Could
Oh,
be
I'm
something about their
confused by the rules.
story.
Oh.
Which is the name of their book.
Which is Milkiana.
Not every book title is a pun on a name.
Oh, I never said every book title was. I was confused by what Dave said
Only
before.
the good ones.
Only the good ones. Only the good
ones
ones
die young.
young.
That's
their book,
subtitle.
Eliana and Josh.
Yeah.
Only the good ones die young.
Yeah. We're still living.
It's a long title, but again, it makes sense by the end.
We'll never die.
I'd also like to thank now from Uppsala in Sweden, Daniel Kjellen. Really having a crack at it. It's KJELLE with an accent N.
Okay.
Daniel Kjellen.
Killing it.
Yeah, I mean,
He's
yeah.
Daniel's Kjellen it.
That's
Kjellen.
good. That's
He's
good.
killing it over here.
Kjellen.
I've never seen that before, where state is select state.
Yeah.
Drop down menu fail.
Yeah, we've failed you there in Uppsala, Sweden. Daniel,
Sorry,
thank you so
Daniel.
much. And finally, I'd like to thank from Chermside in Queensland, Braden Douglas.
Braden Douglas. Met Braden Douglas before. No, he's a Tigers supporter.
Okay.
Okay.
What about...
Yep.
Into the Bray Tigers den, Douglas.
Yes.
Into the Bray.
Tigers den, Douglas. We're at the end of a long recording now. We've recorded
At a long comedy festival
No.
at this point.
Well, sorry, we're
We've
losing
lost our
it.
minds.
We're losing it.
We're so tired.
Geez, we started strong with
Didn't
knock
we?
knock.
Who's there? Owen who? Owen Petit. And there was no coming back from that. We
I
peaked
set
too early.
Too high of a
Yeah.
standard.
And the good news is we have another section of the show dedicated to pun titles on your name, so stay tuned.
Oh my God,
that's
that's
right.
true.
So that brings us to the triptych
Oh my
section. What do I normally
And we
say
have
now?
quite a few people to thank.
Oh
And we're running out of time.
Quick, all right, so these people have been supporting the show on the shout-out level or above for 3 consecutive years, never dropping off. These are the diehards, the absolute number one supporters in our lives. Thank you so much. And to thank them again,
Yeah.
we like to welcome them into a beautiful place, a fictional club that we've created.
Yeah, normally
I
I
like
have-
it when we have a longer list because you can really feel Dave getting into a rhythm.
And you can really fuck that rhythm by criticising him
no,
immediately.
not when he's in a rhythm. I haven't seen it often, but whenever he gets in
What a
one,
fucking bastard.
And just to get ahead of your question, yes, I have got some more hors d'oeuvres and cocktails, except none of them are actually edible this time. This time it's just grenades. 'Cause this guy loved war, and I want to
like
honour
Jaeger
that.
bombs,
No, grenades.
live grenades.
Yeah. Do not order anything.
And Dave, have you booked a band?
Yes, that Swedish band that I just mentioned at the end of the episode that
Yes.
have the war theme song.
Oh, that's right. I forget what they were called, but
Don't worry about it.
so the way this works is if you're on the shout-out level or above for 3 straight years, you're
Sabaton.
Sabaton.
You're welcomed into the Triptych Club. You're going to have a great party. I'm on the door. I'm going to read out your name. You're welcomed in. Grab yourself a grenade. Enjoy the fine musical stylings of Sabaton and listen to Dave hype you up. The whole crowd's going to go wild. They'll be chanting your name.
Yep.
Jess hypes Dave up because he needs a little bit of extra self-esteem.
True, it's actually true.
And here we go. We got a few. What do we got? 8 in today. So I'm on the door. I'm going to read out your name. Dave's going to hype you up. Here we go. You ready, everyone?
let's
Welcome
go.
in. It's bloody Triptych Club time. First up, from Graz or how do you say it? Graz in Austria. It's Thomas Doppelreiter.
This night suddenly got Doppelreiter.
Yes.
Or feels Doppelreiter.
Yeah.
From
when you're in.
Yes.
Sydney in God's country, the great state of Ohio, United States. It's Steve Kaiser.
Kaiser the Laser. Yeah,
From Fort Collins in Colorado in the United States, it's Dirany Clark.
Ooh, providing that spark, it's Dirany Clark.
Ooh.
From Wellington in New Zealand, it's Tim Anderson.
Well, Wellington. If it isn't my old
Fucking
mate,
hell,
Tim.
it's good.
From Portsmouth in England, it's Martin Cox.
Fart and pox.
Here we go.
In a good way. All right.
but in a positive sense.
From address unknown, can only assume from the Fortress of the Moles, it's Brian Andrews.
Tryin'.
Candrews.
Andrew.
Have a can of this drink.
From
Cheers to you, Bri.
Ottawa in Ontario, Canada, it's Micah or Mika.
Micah, let's get the mic on.
Woo!
Micah, yeah.
And finally from Balmain in New South Wales, Australia, it's Steve Socky Soglu. Socky Soglu.
This night was going to be pretty sucky soglu until Stephen arrived. Dried up all the rain.
Stephen
Sunshine.
Socky Soglu. Yeah, it's a great name. Fantastic. Welcome into the club, Stephen, Micah, Brian, Martin, Tim, Dirani, Steve, and Thomas.
Legends.
And that brings us to the end of the episode. Jess, anything we need to tell people before we go?
That we love you. You can suggest a topic and contact us at dogoonpod.com and also find us at dogoonpod across all social media.
Hey, thank you so much for joining us. We'll be back next week with another episode. But until then, we'll say thank you so much and goodbye.
Later.
Bye.